Close your eyes for a moment. Feel your breath. Not your worries, not the noise. Just your breath. This is where it begins. This is where all creation begins. In stillness. In the quiet, you rediscover your true power. Because when you relax, you return to the center of all creation, your imagination. Most people strive, they struggle, they chase, they wait for something out there to change. But the truth is, everything changes in here, in this sacred space of awareness and stillness. Relaxation is not laziness. It is alignment. It is trust in the unseen. When you are relaxed, you are open to receive. You become receptive to the whispers of your higher self. And those whispers become the commands the world obeys. You must learn to feel the end, not by effort, but by ease. Feel now what it feels like to have it, to be it, to live in it. That feeling, held in relaxed awareness, is the seed of your new reality. You don't need to beg. You don't need to stress. You don't need to ask repeatedly. You only need to feel it, Don, and rest in that feeling, like someone drifting off to sleep with a fulfilled heart. When the mind is still, the universe speaks. When the body is at peace, manifestation moves swiftly. You don't make it happen. You allow it to happen. You don't force the flower to bloom. You simply let the season change. So let your season change now. Go in to that inner sanctuary where the future already exists. Feel it. And then let it go with a smile. Because the moment you stop worrying, the moment you stop doubting, the moment you stop needing, is the very moment you start receiving. Creation is already finished. You're not creating anything new. You're selecting a reality that already is. And you select through feeling, through stillness, through rest. So tonight, and every night, before you fall asleep, let the last feeling you hold be the feeling of, it is done. Let your heart beat calmly. Let your body rest deeply. Let your soul say softly, thank you, it's mine. And it will be, because when you relax, you manifest. When the body is at ease and the mind becomes still, a doorway opens. A doorway not to the outside world, but to the depths within. In this quiet, effortless state, we touch the realm that shapes all experience, the subconscious. Most people live entirely on the surface of life, reacting to circumstances, trying to force change through action alone. But lasting transformation never begins on the surface. It begins beneath, where thoughts become beliefs and beliefs become form. The subconscious does not respond to pressure. It does not yield to tension, worry, or striving. It speaks a language far different from logic or effort. It listens to feeling, and it listens best when you are relaxed. Just as the soil receives a seed most gently when it is soft and undisturbed, so too does your subconscious receive your desires when your mind is calm and at rest. In states of deep relaxation, whether through meditation, drowsiness before sleep, or quiet imagination, the conscious mind loosens its grip. The critical filter fades. And in that moment, suggestion becomes powerful. In that moment, you can impress a new reality upon the unseen self. This is why trying harder often delays the very thing you want. Effort from a place of doubt only feeds the belief that it's not already yours. But when you relax, you drop resistance. You stop fighting with what is. And instead, you begin to gently persuade your inner world toward what you desire. In this relaxed state, you're not just daydreaming, you're creating. You're giving instruction to the one part of you that can move mountains without lifting a finger. Your imagination, when paired with relaxation, becomes a divine tool. You begin to enter a natural rhythm where thought becomes image and image becomes experience. Time no longer matters. Doubt falls away, and the inner reality begins to take shape effortlessly. Tension is the silent enemy of manifestation. It disguises itself as concern, as urgency, as the need to do more, fix more, try harder. But beneath it all lies a single message being broadcast to the subconscious. I don't have it yet. This very signal, this feeling of lack, this vibration of absence, builds a wall between you and the reality you desire. The more you strain, the more you affirm that what you want is distant. The more you try to force the outcome, the more you resist its natural unfolding. Manifestation is not born from struggle. It flows from alignment. When you are tense, you are not aligned. You are split. Part of you may be imagining the outcome, but another part is clinging to fear, doubt, and disbelief. This split sends mixed messages to the creative power within. The result is confusion, delay, and repetition of the same unsatisfying circumstances. Tension is also a signal that the conscious mind is trying to dominate the process. It wants control. It wants results now, and it pushes to make them happen. But the subconscious does not respond to pushing. It responds to being. It responds to the feeling that something is already true, and that feeling can only be accessed when the mind is quiet, the breath is deep, and the body is at rest. When you carry tension, your imagination becomes rigid. You start imagining the worst instead of the best. You worry about how it will come, when it will come, and whether you're doing it right. All of that noise drowns out the gentle, confident knowing that manifestation requires. Tension narrows your vision. It keeps you locked in the outer world, reacting to appearances rather than resting in the inner world, creating from assumption. True creation begins with surrender, not giving up, but giving in to the knowing that your desire is already real in the unseen. Tension cannot bring it to you. It only reaffirms the gap. Creation is finished. Everything you could ever desire, every outcome, every possibility already exists in the eternal now. This is not just a comforting idea, it is a fundamental truth of how reality unfolds. You are not here to create something out of nothing. You are here to select from the infinite states that already are. All potential versions of your life exist simultaneously, like frequencies waiting to be tuned into. The moment you imagine something with feeling, you are not building it, you are identifying with it. There is no need to question how it will come or whether it will come. It is. In the unseen realm, the version of you who already has the love, the wealth, the success, the peace exists now. And you reach it not by chasing, but by assuming its truth and living from it. You do not need to convince the world to change. The outer world is only an echo of the inner state you consistently occupy. The act of choosing a new state and remaining faithful to it is all that's required. When you accept that creation is finished, the urgency dissolves. The waiting ends. You stop looking for signs and instead begin to embody the result. This understanding shifts your role. You are not the one making it happen, but the one allowing it to unfold. You align yourself through feeling, through belief, through imagination, and you allow the unseen to shape the seen. You do not need to force the seed to grow once it is planted. Your job is simply to dwell in the end, to live from the state of the wish fulfilled, knowing that it already exists in full perfection. Feeling is the secret ingredient that animates your desires and gives life to your imagination. Without feeling, an image is hollow, just a thought, a fleeting picture without weight or substance. But when you add emotion, when you feel the reality of what you desire as though it were happening now, you impress it deeply upon the subconscious mind. And it is from this impression that reality takes shape. The creative power within you does not respond to words alone. It listens to the emotion behind the words, to the inner atmosphere you carry. You can repeat affirmations endlessly, but if they are not felt, they are powerless. You can visualize scenes in vivid detail, but if they are not infused with genuine emotion, they remain unreal. It is feeling that convinces the inner self something is true, and once that inner self is persuaded, the outer world must reflect it. Feeling is the bridge between the unseen and the seen. It is the substance that connects thought with form. When you feel something, your entire being begins to organize around that feeling. You move differently. You speak with a new tone. You begin to attract experiences that mirror your inner emotional state. This is why assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled is so powerful. It brings the end result into the present moment. It is not enough to think about what you want. You must feel the joy, the peace, the confidence, the relief, as if you already have it. That state of being, when sustained, becomes magnetic. It draws to you people, circumstances, and events that align with that inner feeling. And the more naturally you feel it, the more effortlessly it begins to show up in your reality. The truth is, the world around you is constantly responding to how you feel, not just in your moments of visualization, but throughout the day. If you carry the feeling of lack, of fear, of waiting, the world will continue to mirror that. But if you deliberately choose to dwell in the feeling of fulfillment, the world begins to change in response. To assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled is to mentally and emotionally occupy the state of already having your desire, regardless of what the outer world currently shows. It is an inward shift that repositions your identity, not as someone who wants, but as someone who already is. This practice isn't about pretending or hoping. It's about fully accepting that what you desire is already yours in the invisible realm, and then feeling from that truth. When you assume the feeling, you bypass the logical mind and go straight to the source of creation, the subconscious. The subconscious doesn't question appearances. It accepts what you repeatedly feel to be true. If you consistently dwell in the feeling that your desire is already realized, the subconscious must bring about the outer conditions to match that inner state. This responds with precision, not to your wishes, but to your assumptions. An assumption is simply belief sustained with feeling. This process begins in imagination. You create a scene that implies your wish has already been fulfilled, a moment that would naturally occur after your desire has manifested. But you don't just see the scene, you feel it. You feel the joy, the gratitude, the relief, the love. You let it saturate your awareness until it becomes more real to you than anything the senses can contradict. The power lies in the consistency of that assumption. You must return to it again and again, not with strain, but with quiet confidence. When you walk through the day, hold the energy of someone who already has it. When doubts arise, gently return to the feeling. You don't need to force anything to happen. You simply stay loyal to that inner reality, and the world will reshape itself to mirror it. Assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled changes you at the core. You start thinking from the end rather than about it. You begin to expect differently, speak differently, and act from a place of inner certainty. This shift is the key. It's not the words you say or the actions you take, but the state you live from that determines what unfolds in your life. Letting go of the how is one of the most freeing and essential parts of manifestation. It means releasing the need to control every step, every detail, and every possible path your desire might take to come into form. The conscious mind loves to analyze, to plan, to predict. It wants to understand the exact route from point A to point B. But the deeper creative power within you doesn't operate through logic. It operates through unseen currents, infinite intelligence, and effortless orchestration. When you fixate on how something will happen, you narrow your field of possibility. You become attached to one path, one timeline, one method, and in doing so, you shut out all the miraculous and unpredictable ways your desire could unfold. The truth is, the how is never your responsibility. Your only role is to know what you want, assume its reality, and feel it done. The rest, the who, the when, the circumstances, is managed by a higher intelligence already working behind the scenes. Holding on to the how breeds doubt and impatience. It creates tension. because you're constantly measuring whether things are unfolding the way you think they should. You question the signs, you second-guess the process, and you fall back into effort and struggle. But when you let go of the how, you enter a state of trust. You allow space for the invisible to move. You surrender the need to micromanage and instead step into alignment, knowing that what you desire is already being drawn to you in perfect timing and perfect form. This doesn't mean you sit passively or do nothing. It means your actions are inspired rather than forced. You follow inner nudges, not out of desperation, but out of alignment with the version of you who already has what you want. Letting go of the how isn't giving up control. It's handing it over to something far more capable than the limited mind. It's choosing to rest in the awareness that the way is being made clear, even if you can't yet see the path. Inner peace is the foundation upon which outer miracles are built. It is not just a pleasant state of mind. It is a magnetic field that shapes and attracts your external reality. When you dwell in inner peace, you no longer react to the noise of the world. You become the cause rather than the effect. You no longer chase miracles. You become the space in which miracles naturally unfold. Peace within is a signal to your subconscious that everything is already taken care of. It says, I am safe, I am whole, I already have what I need. And because the outer world is a reflection of your inner state, that sense of completeness begins to take physical form. Circumstances shift. People respond differently. Solutions appear effortlessly, not because you fought for them, but because your inner calm created the conditions for them to emerge. In stillness, you access clarity. You see things not through the lens of fear, but through the eyes of wisdom. You become more open, more intuitive, more aware of the subtle movements of the unseen. The need to rush dissolves. The fear of lack evaporates. You move through life with quiet confidence, knowing that what belongs to you can never be missed, and what is meant for you is already making its way. Inner peace also neutralizes resistance. When you're agitated, doubtful, or anxious, you create energetic blocks. But peace allows flow. It invites life to meet you in harmony. It sends a message to the universe that says, I trust. And trust is the energy that invites the miraculous. You may find that the very moment you stop trying to make it happen, when you drop the mental struggle, silence the inner noise, and simply be, that's when things begin to align. Not by force, but by resonance. The world begins to reflect back the serenity you claimed within. The miracle was never outside of you. It was always waiting for you to become still enough to receive it. Imagination is the workshop of creation, and it functions most powerfully when the mind is quiet and the body is at rest. In stillness, distractions fade. The outside world becomes less urgent, and your attention naturally turns inward, toward the source of all reality. This inward turning is not a withdrawal from life, but a return to your original creative power. When you are still, you are most present. And in presence, your imagination is no longer scattered or weakened by opposing thoughts. It becomes focused, vivid, alive. In states of quiet, your imaginative scenes carry more weight. They impress the subconscious more deeply because there is no resistance, no conflict, no overthinking to dilute them. It is in stillness that your inner world becomes more real than the outer. You can feel the softness of a touch, the warmth of a sunbeam, the sound of a voice that you love, all without needing a single physical stimulus. That is the power of imagination, and it reaches its full potential when you are deeply calm. Stillness also allows you to access the subtle feelings behind the images. You're not just visualizing events, you're living them internally. You're stepping into the emotional tone of the fulfilled desire. And because feeling is what impresses the subconscious, your calm, focused imagination becomes a direct command to the creative forces within you. You are no longer just thinking about a better life. You are dwelling in it, breathing it, becoming it. The world outside may demand action, but your inner world responds to stillness. In that silence, you become the sculptor, shaping new realities with ease and clarity. You move beyond mental chatter and into pure awareness, where the line between what's imagined and what's real begins to blur. And it is from this space that transformation begins, not with effort, but with quiet, confident knowing. To live from the end is to walk through the world as the version of yourself who already has what you once desired. It is the quiet conviction that your wish is fulfilled, not will be, but already is. This is not about pretending or acting for others. It's about inwardly assuming the role and identity of one who no longer needs to seek, because they have already found. And when this assumption is carried in calm confidence, it becomes an unshakable frequency that life mirrors without fail. Calm confidence does not come from external evidence. It is born from inner certainty. It does not require validation, signs, or proof. It simply knows. This knowing becomes your anchor. You begin to think, speak, move, and decide as the one who already lives in the fulfilled state. No more questioning whether it's coming, no more scanning the world for hints of progress. The end is already yours, and that awareness shapes your actions naturally. You no longer try to get it. You allow it to reveal itself, because in truth, it already exists. This state of calm confidence is not loud. It doesn't need to announce itself or fight for attention. It is subtle but powerful. When you truly live from the end, you radiate assurance. You begin to attract effortlessly because you are no longer chasing, you are aligning. You begin to release the habits of desperation, comparison, and urgency. Those belong to the one who is still waiting. But you are now the one who has. There is no striving in this state. There is only flow. You know that everything is already arranged in your favor, so you move with ease. Life becomes cooperative. Time no longer feels like an obstacle. Delays don't shake you. Appearances don't disturb you. You remain rooted in your unseen reality, calmly confident that what you live within must eventually surround you. And in that still, steady faith, the bridge of incidents begins to unfold, not through force, but through natural alignment with the truth you have already claimed. So now you know, you don't have to chase, struggle, or force life into place. You simply need to relax, to become still, to feel your desire as already fulfilled, and live from that end with calm, quiet confidence. The power is already within you. The reality you seek already exists. The only task is to align yourself with it inwardly, through imagination, through feeling, through peace. Let go of tension. Release the need to control the how. Trust that creation is finished and everything is working in your favor. Your inner world is the true cause of everything you see. Nurture it, believe in it, live from it. Thank you for listening with an open heart. May this message remind you of who you truly are, the operant power, the dreamer who awakens to their dream. Stay peaceful, stay faithful, and always, always feel it real.